Happy Christmas, happy holidays. I hope you are having an absolutely great day wherever you are in the world today. So this is my Christmas hoodie. Yeah, I wonder if you guessed the colour right. It is actually a white one, as you can see. And I got some Christmas lights going on here and a bit of tinsel as well. Because I like to kind of identify with my Christmas tree on Christmas Day. Seems like the right thing to do, eh? So I hope you're having a good Christmas anyway, whatever's happening. And you know, something about Christmas Day, whatever happens, there's always something cheerful going on, you know. A lot of us want to kind of strangle our relatives and stuff like that, but something good always happens at the same time. I might be along with a little live stint later, but I don't know. It's kind of getting very slow to upload things to YouTube at the moment because I guess everyone's putting their Christmas stuff on there, you know, right now as we speak. But there we go. Normal service will be resumed. Who wants to be normal, really, on a day like this? Let's get some cards out. Let's get some cards done. Starting off with Kyle Gray's Ascended Masters deck, and I'm not going over to the table today. I listened to that video that I put up for Christmas Eve, and it sounded like I was, I don't know, shouting down a hole in the next room or something. Just kind of the microphone wasn't picking it up. Maybe I'll get myself a new microphone because people have been very generous on coffee, and my coffee page is down there. It's, you know, donations always welcome, but you don't have to donate anything. You can look at the pictures. There's some pictures of my super cute chickens, my super cute cats, and, you know, generally the world outside. And I'm going sort of free of studio lights today because I wanted to be able to actually see the tree flashing there. Right, so cards are in my hand. I'm going to turn over the top three. I'm going to go wild and start off with three oracle cards, and this is just for you if you're drawn to it. It's like a Christmas read. And sorry about my washing that I've just noticed piled up on the chair there. At least it's clean washing. Card number one that comes out, Isis, Magic Manifesting. Okay, magical kind of a day, Christmas, is it not? You can particularly see the magic because people seem to manage to have a good time almost whatever's happening. Your dreams, visions and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. Wow, I might actually take that one for myself, but that's certainly for you if you're watching this video. And, you know, even if you're watching this video sometime in the future, you've been drawn to it now for a reason, and this applies to you. It really does. Magic Manifesting. Isis is an absolutely amazing goddess figure. She is actually the goddess of London, capital city here in the UK. And we've got Cleopatra's Needle, so that's not exactly Isis. But when the Romans set London up way back when, they actually dedicated London to Isis. Anyway, I don't know what that's got to do with the price of fish or anything else. Look at this up here. It's kind of a third eye. It's way up on top of her head there. But essentially, that's what it's saying to me. The third eye is opening. And Liz, you mentioned in the comments the other day, and I'll probably have replied to you by the time this video comes out, actually. But you did mention in the comments, you know, that something had happened and it had made your third eye close down. Well, that is a fact of spiritual life, unfortunately. There's a lot going on out there that makes the third eye want to shut down because we only really want to let the love and the light in there. And quite often we get spirit people coming through and wanting to communicate, and it's pretty scary, you know, especially when you're a child. And more than anything else, it tends to scare the people around you when you start to mention it. Think of movies like Poltergeist, and it's all kind of, you know, oh, this spirit has come to this child and it's terrible. That's a movie, you know. The reality is there's usually some positive intent behind the idea of spirit coming through, and they'll come through to children because children are actually open, you know. They haven't kind of learned to block everything out yet. They haven't got the cynicism of being an adult, really. Now, this card is a real interesting one in that sense because it says your dreams, visions and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. And whether you're a child or not, when you start getting spiritual visions, and when you know, spirits speak to us through our dreams a lot, actually, it's tempting to brush it aside, and certainly the world around us is always wanting us to brush these things aside, because most people, sadly, are quite uncomfortable with the idea of spiritual communication. It's 'cause you can't see it, you can't buy it even. And try telling that to the Catholic Church, but you cannot actually buy spiritual success. You can't. It just doesn't respond to any of the nuts and bolts of everyday life that we have, but it comes in response to what's going on in everyday life, to those nuts and bolts. It's just a lot of people think, well, it's going to loosen the nuts and bolts that hold life together, and then life is going to fall apart. Not so at all. So it can be baffling, and whatever's manifesting to you in your dreams at the moment might actually be very baffling. But if you go with the flow, if you roll with it, then you're going to start understanding it more, and things are going to mean more to you. Another magical thing that's manifesting today, of all days, is, of course, the veil is very thin at these special festive times and these holiday times. And people who maybe were once, alive in the physical sense and were around us, and, at this time of Christmas, maybe they've passed away, some of them, but they do actually come in very close at Christmas, and that is the Christmas magic manifesting. It's remarkable how the human race can come up with this day and call it Christmas and, set everything up, and it becomes a spiritual thing as well. But that is the as above, so below thing. That is the influences all coming together and working together. So that's Isis, magic manifesting. Lady Nada, heart awakening, is card number 2. Now, she looks a much less complicated character, but is she? What's her message? Awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. Well, that is it's a simpler concept, than saying magic is manifesting, but it is actually a big part of magic manifesting. And there are roses all over this card as well. That's, if you think of roses or any real beautiful flowers or plants that look so gorgeous, that's some magic coming into this world and being real. It really is. And I often say, and I have to make a Stuff Psychics Say video about this, get out into nature if you can and sort of appreciate the beauty of nature. Well, that is actually something that's given to us, something that was set up in this world before human beings ever came to live here. It's just a question of accepting it, really. Once you look at these things and think, well, there are man-made roses, certainly. People have hybridized roses to get particular effects. But roses themselves are a naturally occurring thing. Who can say where they come from? Who can say exactly what they mean? Well, all they really mean is what they sit there and show you. Just the basic beauty of being a rose or a flower or whatever it is that's beautiful to you. The other thing it says here, give and receive in balance. Now that's one to think about, especially on a day like this. We can very often find ourselves giving and giving and giving. I've mentioned my spiritual colleague Sammy to you. She's spending all of Christmas Eve actually preparing vegetables, and she's going to be working from very early today actually. She's probably started already. Getting Christmas dinner ready for us all to go around there and eat. And it's a load of work. It's an absolute pile of work, isn't it? But it tends to be worth it. It always feels worth it when you get to the end of Christmas Day. And the punch has all been drunk and the drunks have all been punched and it's all gone quiet. And this reminds me, when my children were small, I would have a manic day on Christmas. I'd be cooking from about 5 a.m. Because I've got a solid fuel cooker, which is too filthy to show you at the moment. If you've ever had a coal or log-fired cooker, you'll know that all this kind of steamy stuff with soot in comes out and runs down the door. And it always looks as if someone's tipped a bottle of ketchup down it. And that's what it looks like now, so I can't show you it, or otherwise I'll absolutely disgust you if you see that and think that I've been cooking on it. But that's what I cook on. And you have to light it very, very early in the morning if you want food ready at a specific time. And, you want to eat about kind of 1 in the afternoon. It's got to be lit and going at 5 a.m. And it can go out, it can go up and down. It's uncontrollable. So I would have to start cooking 5 a.m. On Christmas Day. And I'd be exhausted because at that time I was a church organist too. So I would have been out doing midnight mass the night before, and I'd have got home about sort of 1 a.m. Had a couple of hours sleep and then up cooking. Exhausting. But you get to the end of that day, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, no matter how much you have to do, you get to the end of that day and you get a bit of time for yourself, which is a magical thing. I always used to, and I actually still do. I'll do this tomorrow. I sit down and I start planning my vegetable garden for next year, because the cycle moves so quickly. We're going into the coldest time now in the northern hemisphere, absolutely for sure. But it won't seem like long at all. It's a matter of about sort of 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and it'll be really kind of starting to warm up outside. The ground will be ready to actually grow things again. So Christmas night, I sit and I plan my garden, and it just takes my mind off all the craziness of Christmas. Lets me kind of relax, even though my brain's active and I'm doing something. And that's how I kind of, that's the balancing part of my Christmas day. And I bet you all have that one way or another, the excitement of the day. Even if you don't get excited about it yourself, you can't miss the fact that other people are getting excited about it. Absolute craziness, but it does subside. So then, after everything you've given out, you can receive a bit of divine wisdom by meditating. You can receive a bit of your own wisdom just by sitting still. The two go together, I think. So Lady Nada is there saying give and receive in balance. And the third card I pulled out, your friend and mine, Archangel Michael. What a guy. What an absolute guy. I need hardly tell you how great Archangel Michael is. He will bring protection. He will bring all kinds of good things into your life. You often see flashes of blue light when Archangel Michael's around, and I seem to have put some blue light flashes around myself today. So I guess he's here. He's never far, and you can always call on Archangel Michael no matter what, because he's non-physical. He's not restricted by time and space. If Archangel Michael is busy helping a million other people at the moment, he can come and help you as well. He's just not restricted. That's what his energy's like. He says, you are safe. Angels stand close. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. And now we're starting to look forward. If you live in Britain, you'll know this song. You might know it in the States. I think they did actually tour the States. A band called Slade, and their song is Merry Christmas, Everybody. And in the chorus, the second part of the chorus is, look to the future now, it's only just begun. And that's something that we always do at this festive holiday time of year. We start looking ahead to next year. We start thinking about what's going to happen. So surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. Okay, hold that thought in your mind, and next year you will see at least one miracle occurring in your life. Now, miracles are one of those things that become very difficult to believe in, and the less we believe in them, the less likely they are to happen. So, visualize and believe. There is another subject for a future video on stuff psychics say, no doubt. But that first 3 card spread there, and we'll do some more cards as we go. We didn't start with that. We started with Isis, magic manifesting. Okay, Lady Nada, heart awakening. That's the other side of magic manifesting. And Archangel Michael, trusting heaven is what it says down there in the slightly small and in the middle-sized print. Look, trusting heaven. See that? Okay, those 3 things go together. So it's a day when heaven and earth do come very close. And it comes very soon after we had that amazing situation on the 21st on the winter solstice when the worlds come very close. I think they've stayed very close, actually, because loads of great things have been happening. If great things haven't been happening to you, well, they will, especially if you keep in touch with that idea of magic manifesting that Isis was talking about there. Okay, I will now do 3 cards from a different deck. That was Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. This one is Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle deck. I use this one a lot in private readings. If you'd like a private reading, by the way, hit me up at 35and83@gmail.com. The address is down there with all the other good stuff. The coffee page, all my Facebook and Instagram links. Check it out, why not? And send me a message. I can produce birth charts, I can do private readings, whatever it is spiritually that you want to ask, let me know. And if I can help you, I really, really will. Sometimes there has to be a fee involved. No getting away from that, I'm afraid. But isn't that just life all the way? Okay, I'm now picking out 3 cards. I pick out cards in accordance with what I feel coming into me from the spirit guides. And they said, open the deck in the middle, pull 3 cards out of there. So that's what I've done. We've got roses all over the backs of these cards, by the way. And that, applies to everything I was just saying about roses, of course. But as well as that, can you see this is like one of those paintings where you paint one side of the picture and then fold it over and, the paint comes off on the other side and you get a double image. It looks like these have been individually drawn around the outside. It's a print, isn't it? But this is what it looks like. But underneath there, behind that, it's just that very subtle, slightly smudged, slightly blurry conception of reality that we see in the middle. And this is what the spiritual life does, It is very blurry, the world it's kind of dreary and blurry, the world we live in. What was that card? Let me look. Okay, I'm going to read this one as well. It obviously needs to be in the picture. But then we get these roses round the outside, and that just really sums up the spiritual influences that are around us always, that we perhaps are feeling quite keenly today, but which are always around us. A subtle reminder if ever there was one. So this first card, I read this for someone the other day. Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. Okay, I'm sure I brought this out in a video just a day or 2 ago. I can't remember when exactly, but I've read this card in the very recent past. Might have been for an Instagram reading I did, not sure about that. But anyway, we've got this pyramid shape up here at the end of this long spiritual corridor. And the pyramid shape is a magical thing, but I'm looking here at the way it takes these 2 pillars and joins them together. And the Sisterhood of the Rose, it says beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. That is the role that many of us are blessed with, where we have to kind of bring people together. And I'm happy to say this channel seems to be doing that. I always hope I can teach a bit as well as doing readings. And, there's a lot of teaching from the spirit realms coming through in readings. But there's nothing better, in my opinion, than people actually chatting in the comments or chatting in the live chat when there's a live video. And there'll be a live video again very soon, by the way. And people kind of healing each other, people teaching each other, sharing that knowledge. That's the great thing, you don't... It's an egotistical thing to try and run this channel and I tell you what to do. There are too many spiritual practitioners like that. The great thing is that people are drawn in friendship towards this channel. And a lot of you guys show your friendship to me. I'm very grateful to you for that. I feel the support. I feel the strength of it. And I know you bring strength and success to each other when you kind of talk among yourselves and exchange ideas. That's what life's all about. Anyway, next card I pulled out. Inner Temple, devotion, tune in to the portal of your heart. And this is a similar scene with pillars, but it's very different at the end of the corridor. It's like a corridor with no roof on, and you can see right out to the universe there. And we've got these characters here with this sort of twin-like energy. They're kind of facing different directions, absolutely, but that's what you need to do. Spiritual inspiration and power comes in from all directions. Often the last direction you'd expect it to come from, actually. And they're here. And if you walk in between them and you walk down this corridor towards the light, then slowly but surely you get closer to this great burst of spiritual inspiration in the centre. Did you know the traditional way that British churches are built, and churches are built in a lot of parts of the world, you have a tower at one end, and then you have a slightly lower roof, and then you have a slightly lower roof, and that is meant to represent a staircase, and kind of God walks down the 3 steps, and just in front of the altar in a great many churches there are 3 steps up, and that's you taking your 3 steps up to meet with God, to meet with the celestial energy. That is really manifesting itself a lot in this card, and that's the message I want to take from it today. Did you go to church for midnight mass or for anything else? Did you just go Christmas time to church to meet with people? I'm sure some of you did. And as much as you might have met with people, physical people, you also have been meeting with the metaphysical there, because churches are another construct of people, something we've kind of invented as a human race. But they are very much inspired by people's genuine kind of divine interests and people's yearning to have that communion with God and with Spirit. So whatever people do to spoil churches, there's really great energy in there. There really is. There has to be. It's the way they're designed. It's the way they're built. But that's enough about churches. Just, the spiritual idea of walking down that corridor towards the light. That is the spiritual journey. That, friends, is what it's all about. Next card, deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be healed. This is so much a part of the picture as well. It's so important to actually take some time and do that. And this is actually echoing some of what we had in the last spread that I did about kind of, giving yourself time to hear your own ideas, to hear your own higher self talking to you. It's super important. And when we talk about rest and replenishment, that's what you're replenishing. Not just recharging your batteries, not just your personal strength, although that happens too, and that's important. When you take that time, that's when your thoughts can roll down before you and actually give you some information, give you some upliftment, and let you feel more in touch with whatever's going on there. Okay, short and sweet, I know, but I do know that a lot of you actually focus in on these cards. Maybe pause the video if you want to look more closely at the card, because I'm always saying the most important interpretation of any of these cards or readings that I do is the interpretation you put on them. Okay, we're going to do a pick a card with the Moonology deck in a minute, but first of all, I said I'd bring 3 cards out of that deck and another one fell out. This is card number 4, Mintarkan, Longing for Home, Belonging, the original Lightworkers. Now there's a thing. Let us understand, friends, that everything we do spiritually and everything we receive, if we're just kind of having a reading ourselves and taking something in, it has this very, very long heritage. Mintarkan, I don't know when that period of history was, but it's saying they're the original Lightworkers, and their message is longing for home, belonging. It's been said that God came to the earth as a glass sphere and hit the earth and shattered, and we are the fragments forever trying to come back together. And that's another side of the festive season. People either come together physically or they get in touch with each other. They say hello, maybe send greetings across the pond, maybe send greetings across the world. But people just have that bit of togetherness, and that really is something to celebrate. But it's true absolutely every day. Let me show you this image again. It's a lonely old life trying to be a light worker sometimes, but there is this great sea of goodness. And even when you're working completely alone, there are thousands of others like you working alone around the world. And there's one of my favourite B-52's references there. If you're in outer space, don't feel out of place, because there are thousands of others like you. I think it's called, there's a moon in the sky called the moon. It's one, crazy B-52's ideas, but I think there's some real good truths in there. And many of us who are light workers do feel like we're stranded on another planet sometimes. It's just a fact of life. But we're not. You'll always find if you keep on trying to do spiritual work, people will appreciate you. People will kind of gather around and want to be a part of what you do. As long as you kind of keep trying to give a good example all the time and giving help to people. There's no better example of spiritual kind of togetherness than if you can help somebody else. That really is what it's all about. Okay, now then I'm going to do 3 Moonology cards, and this time it's pick a card, and let's see which cards you pick. Let me just fan them out. This deck likes to stick together a bit. It doesn't like to fan out too much. Very cohesive, but there we are. So we've got card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. Which one are you drawn to, friends? Pick your card now, 1, 2 or 3. Or are you going to pick all 3? You can do that. Are you going to pick 2 of them? Entirely up to you. Card number 1. A new romantic cycle begins. Now, I'm sure this one came out on the live the other day. I really seem to strongly remember that. Uh, we got a great sense of balance here. I would almost say this is a Libran card, and it is actually, yes, it's new moon in Libra, so this is early energy. But the question is, what kind of romance is this? If you're looking for love in your life and you chose card number 1, take heart. It's actually coming in. It's not just gonna come in, it's coming in now. It's starting to happen, and it's a balanced thing, you know. Everything you yearn for, whatever's coming towards you now, is in balance with that. Doesn't mean it's going to be 1,000,000% successful. You've got to apply yourself. You've got to really kind of try and put the energy there to make that happen. But that's card number 1, and that's looking pretty good. Card number 2, ooh, full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. We've got the Aries Ram energy really kind of shoving through and forcing things to happen. Well, okay, being forceful doesn't sound like a spiritual concept, is it? But sometimes you have to. Sometimes you really have to. I was in a situation with a spiritualist church a few years ago, where some people were trying to kind of take over the open circle that we had there. And I really had to put my foot down in a big way. And I felt bad on those people. But, you know, they were hogging all the resources that were there for about 30 different people. And I had to put my foot down. Cruel to be kind. And I had to really ram that message home. I didn't hit anyone, by the way, but I had to ram that message home to actually get it across. By the way, some people say that I hit 1,000 subscribers this year. I didn't hit any of them. If I hit my subscribers, I think they'd unsubscribe. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you have subscribed yet, thank you very much. God bless you. I really appreciate it. But a fiery climax approaches. That is the nature, that is the message of card 2. So things are on the up, things are moving, and it's coming through with that Aries Ram energy. Nothing's going to stop it. So if you chose card number 2, things are going to be going off in a big way pretty soon. Don't fear it, make the most of it. If things seem to be going off in a way that doesn't suit you, never mind all that. You embrace that energy, you turn it round, and you make it work for you. If someone's throwing CRAP at you, I'm not going to swear on Christmas after all, can't cuss on Christmas, can you? If someone's throwing CRAP towards you, put a mirror up, just reflect it back to them. Then it's their karma, then it's their problem. Then it matters a lot less, and it'll leave you in a position to actually bring your own spiritual, your own physical, whatever it is you're working on, bring it to a climax. And that's going to be a great thing as we move towards a new year, because that's going to mean you hit the ground running. More stuff can get done. How cool is that? Card number 3. Did you pick card number 3, friends? It's this one. What's it going to say? It's going to say emotions are running high, because it's the supermoon card. And there's a super kind of close-up picture of the moon there. I'm not sure if that's an artist's impression or if that's an actual photograph that's been boiled down in some way so it fits on a card. But emotions are running high. Now then, this is the last card I'm pulling out for Christmas, and so I bet emotions are running high. Emotions tend to run very high at Christmas, so as much as anything else, I'm going to say don't forget to have that calm time at the end of the day. It's going to make a big difference to you. It's going to teach you stuff about yourself. It's going to teach you stuff about everything that's going on in your life if you take some time at the end of Christmas just to sit and reflect. And I'm reflecting nicely in this white top, aren't I? But, you know, reflect in the mind. I've got to do some of that. And so have we all, because all the spiritual goings on that happen around us, the spirit guides themselves speak into the subconscious mind. That's why it so often comes out in dreams. And that's another reason for kind of resting, recharging your batteries, like in other cards we've had today. That time allows these things to come forward, allows you to think of them. Writing your dreams down is a big help with that one as well. But here we are, Christmas Day, and emotions are running high. Tell me about it. This is the supermoon. Christmas is kind of the supermoon festival of the year, really, is it not? And I know that like half the world doesn't celebrate Christmas, but I think it's just about the biggest festival there is. I have some friends from Bangladesh, and they're Muslims. I have some Sikh friends as well, and they'll have a bit of a Christmas because, you know, they're living in the West and everyone else is having Christmas. I've known of that since the 1980s. So it's something everyone tends to get involved with. Some of us don't want to know. Some of us don't want to get involved with it. I think that's absolutely fair enough. There have been many Christmases in my life when I didn't get involved with it. I always used to volunteer to work Christmas when I was in the Air Force because, I don't know, you got 3 weeks off just for working Christmas Day, which I thought was kind of a good thing. And I don't know, it just lifted me out of all the craziness of it, shall we say. But since then, you know, things have changed. Life is changed. That change is always going on. And I kind of like to enjoy myself. Anyway, friends, I hope you're having a great Christmas. I'm going to wrap this one up here. Thanks very, very much for watching. Do check out the Ko-fi page. If you want a private reading, I'm afraid there's a small cost involved, but do hit me up at 35and83@gmail.com. The email address is down there with all the other good stuff. Meanwhile, thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Please do hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That really helps the channel. Big love and light to you all, whether you've hit that button or not. But I do appreciate those of you who've hit that button because it really does help in a big way. Hope your day's been good. I hope the rest of your day's going to be even better. And I'll be here with more videos again very, very soon. We will do a live stream next week. Details to be announced. I'll put a community post up when that time comes, when I've finally worked out what I'm going to do. But I'm now going to dive back into the craziness of Christmas Day. So, hey, thanks again for watching. Love, light, blessings, and peace.